Wait a minute. How could you possibly know about that?
Elementary, my dear. Winslow. So the financial arrangements I made are essentially gone.
According to Mrs. Hudson, completely gone. Your Rip Van Winkle process would be worth a fortune, but your key serum was derived from the blackfish?
Correct.
Well, they were driven to extinction 30 years ago.
How careless. Well, my friend Charles Darwin said we are creatures of adaptation. I shall put his theory to the test. What, you preferred the beard?
No, this is fine.
Do you know of a barber in the vicinity?
Actually, I don't think
Is
you
this
need...
the right one, Mr. Holmes?
Indeed it is. Thank you, Mrs. Hudson. This will help us bring the blackguard to justice.
But even if you could find him, hasn't the statute of limitations run out on the robbery?
Retribution, Mrs. Hudson. That's what I'll have, and regain my identification papers.
Wouldn't Scotland Yard still have your fingerprints?
Quite likely. I must wire them. Kindly direct me to a telegraph. No, I'll be fine. You try walking around after sleeping for nearly 90 years.
There is a Chinese proverb which says when you save someone's life, you become responsible for them.
I want you to come to the city with me so I can keep an eye on your condition.
Thank you, but I prefer to be beholden to no one, particularly
A woman. I could see it on his face.
I'm afraid you haven't got a choice.
in rivo fine, sine rumo sum.
Right. You wore up the creek without a paddle. What kind of wine is that?
Extremely rare vintage. Interesting. Mr. Benz was experimenting with self-propulsion in my day. I'm rather surprised he didn't settle for electricity rather than petroleum. Seems any thinking person would have.
Yeah? Well, you may be disappointed by quite a few things.
Nevertheless, exhilarated by the prospects. Shall we be off?
We said goodbye to Mrs. Hudson, who remained behind to pack up her house. I was still very suspicious, but he certainly gave every impression of a man trying to absorb a new world.
You know, attitudes towards women have also changed quite a bit.
Your talents have extended beyond the embroidery frame.
I wasn't going quite fast enough to push him out of the car.
You've come a long way, baby.
Yes. You know, you'll really have to develop a less patronizing attitude. It must be very difficult to have left your brother behind. Were there any other loved ones?
No. No, love is an emotion I studiously avoid. It tends to bias the logical mind. Of course, I regret the loss of Mycroft and good old Watson. They are carefully filed in memory for future reference.
Don't you feel the loss?
No. The world is a tragedy to those who feel, but a comedy to those who think. And I prefer to think most specifically about crime.
Why?
Because it represents the darkest side of human nature.
Exactly. So why dwell on it? I mean, I know it's out there, but I don't like to think about it.
Your head is in the sand, my dear. Evil, unless checked, begets more and greater evil. Like this new nemesis of mine, this club-footed Moriarty.
Don't you think if this man were as terrible as you say is, I would have heard of him?
One is seldom aware of the viper until it strikes. But I'll ferret him out, and then focus on this delicious tiger man. You say the victim was a police officer.
Retired and renowned for years. He headed the police academy. Lieutenant Ortega told me.
Lieutenant Ortega is?
One of Hunt's star graduates. They had a father-son relationship. He was grief-stricken at the hospital.
I'll need more data. I can't make bricks without clay.
Well, you're about to run into a mountain of data.
Pier 7. I took a last walk here before beginning my long sleep. think a certain destiny is operating here.
What's your step, dear?
1994 Baker Street.
Hello, Lucy. It's okay, he's a friend. A little different than your Victorian tastes, huh?
But nonetheless revealing of your personality.
Oh, really? What can you tell me?
Oh, not that much, and there have certainly been changes over the years which may affect slightly my deductions.
Oh, pray proceed.
Well, I would say that you are the daughter of a flamboyant sculptor. You're a graduate of Stanford University. You speak French. You are highly intelligent and have an excellent bedside manner with children. You're affiliated to the Marguerite Perry Clinic on Sutter Street. You have strong opinions, but prefer to express yourself through quiet and more circuitous avenues. Despite unusual scientific experimentation, you are not totally consumed by medicine. You are attempting to write a work of historical fiction, but are much frustrated in your efforts and are thus far unpublished. You enjoy wagering on sports, and despite your conservative appearance, harbor a deep romanticism and a desire for adventure in spite of the injury it has brought you. You are intrigued by the bizarre and apparently find humor in the male sexual organ. On holidays, you prefer exotic tropical locales, such as Panama, if I'm not much mistaken. You prefer to inhale your cocaine rather than injecting it, as I do. You were recently abandoned by your husband, who was a painter. His departure occasioned an outburst of childish anger from you. However, you are taking positive action to begin a new life without him. You are sentimental. You had a gray, short-haired female cat named Twinkie, recently deceased.
Enough, damn it! Just who the hell are you? Why are you and Mrs. Hudson doing this whole number? Is this some sort of outrageous practical... Oh, it's Max, isn't it? He put you up to this. He loves this whole performance art junk. Where did he dig you up? At the improv? God, how could I have been so stupid as to fall for this whole asleep for 90 years routine? That bastard, Max!
Why on earth would you make such an unfounded supposition?
Why? Why? Because with the exception of a few obvious errors, everything you said is absolutely dead on, and there's no way you could have possibly known it without being told.
Errors?
Oh, please, drop the Sherlock Holmes crap and get the hell out of my house.
Madam, if you'll kindly quell your feminine hysteria for one moment.
It is non-sexist hysteria. Get out.
I assure you, everything I've deduced is perfectly obvious to the trained observant eye.
Oh, take your trained observant eye and stick it up your nose.
Martians have landed.
Bizet. One of my favorites.
Knock it off, Lucy's a fake. Hello, Max. You're damn right I'll leave a message for you. How dare you drag that sweet old Mrs. Hudson into such a warped, low-life, nasty trick?
Pretty damn good. You do okay busking, huh? Lefty.
Sherlock, Lefty is an odd name for someone who's right-handed.
It's on account of my politics. And how did you know I was a righty?
Oh, I once wrote a trifling monograph upon the subject of manual dominance. Also how 74 different professions can be deduced from the observation of hands.
Oh, yeah? What's my line?
Mariner.
Geez, you could tell that from my hand.
From the fine lines around your eyes that sailors get from squinting on a bright sea. Also, from the corner of a tattoo visible on the back of your wrist, which I take to be an anchor, and